Okay, you guys read the title, so let's get into today's trade recap. However, I do want to address yesterday, Tuesday, for why I didn't upload a video, primarily because I had missed my setup, my long setup to the upside. What do I mean by missed? No, I didn't hesitate on the trade because I wasn't even awake during the trade. For you guys that don't know, I live in LA, so sometime, I wake up early, but this is the one time in literally the past like 8 months I didn't wake up on time, and price action had formed a clean SMT with ES, changed state delivery to the upside after taking out 4-hour liquidity. Could have targeted, whatever, right? Multiple draws, but ended up missing that. Woke up around 7 or 10:15, 10:17, somewhere in this area, and the move was already made on the trading day, so there was nothing else I wanted to see. However, let's get into today's short. I'll talk about my thought process during the trade, the confluence, all that fun stuff. But starting off on the daily time frame, there wasn't really anything I'd like to see on the daily. We had made a retracement for this huge daily bearish fair value gap a couple days ago, but still nothing really I could have utilized as confluence today. Same for the 4-hour really. However, on the hourly, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. We had this huge bullish hourly fair value gap. You can see we were actually validating at one point. We made a very, very deep retracement into. And that's where I had to sit and wait for price action. Because not only did we have that, but we had these hourly lows I wanted to see targeted, potentially. But in order to see that traded toward as a draw, I needed to wait for the new 10 a.m. hourly to open in order to form this bullish or bearish hourly fair value gap. We ended up trading into it. We formed an SMT market open on the 5-minute time frame to push upward. I potentially thought this SMT could lead us toward maybe this draw. I know it's kind of extreme because it would have been invalidating the hourly CB, but we had this internal high 100% wanted to see get hit. So price action did that, chop, 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 and eventually ended up taking out those highs, forming internal liquidity, which then I wanted to see this hourly CB get validated, bearish fair value gap, with the change in state delivery to the downside and an SMT. However, we didn't end up getting the SMT, which made me not nervous about the trade. Not nervous, what's the word? I just seen it as a lesser probability, potentially due to the fact of not having the SMT. If we would have seen the SMT, would have been a brilliant trade, to be honest. It still was a solid trade. However, going into the trade, I was potentially looking at price to maybe go higher. We'll talk about that in a second. But price action ended up taking out this internal high, forming a change state delivery to the downside. It did take a minute, to be honest. When we were continuing to wake right here, I just assumed, okay, lower probability, we're not going to do it. And eventually price action ended up displacing through. And upon that displacement, that's when I ended up executing with my stop above the high. And this change state delivery was obviously in confluence with validating this hourly CB. However, as price action was continuing to develop, I was like, I'm not, we're going to have to see how price action continues to develop. It was my model, but obviously I'm still collecting data, refining my model, improving it, and mainly building the proper confidence in order to execute upon it, which we see it's, I'm still doing regardless of my emotion. But yeah, so ended up executing upon that. Price action was doing a little bit of mumbo jumbo here, and eventually continue to validate this order block, change state delivery, whatever you want to call it. Had my first target as these internal lows down here, and second as these internal lows down here. For some reason, I don't know how to place a take profit on TradingView. Haven't done it in so long, I somehow forgot. I shorted here, had my buy stop here. So if that's buy stop, then it would have been sell limit. But when I placed sell limit, it did this. So I didn't know what to do. So price action ended up spiking down around here, and I closed, and price quickly made a move to like around here. So we got filled at 1 and 2R, but we see the trade ran for an extra I mean, this would have been would have beyond past the funded account. Shoot, would have gone into profits on the live account, or would have passed the eval, gone into you get. I'm just joking. But yeah, so that was today's trade. If I would have had a little bit more confidence within this trade, I would have been able to hold until these lows, the low of days. However, like I said, I'm still collecting data on my model, and I won't be able to do, hold trades like that, get crazy, hard trades consistently until I get to that point to where I've fully mastered the confidence within my model in order to hold understanding, okay, hey, this is, a good probability setup based upon, or great probability setup, or caught the high a day reversal, whatever the case is, based upon the data I've collected. So bear with me for a minute. Still getting more confidence with the model, but I am executing upon it regardless of how I feel, and journaling the data afterwards. But yeah, that was today's trade. Caught the short, caught the reversal from high of day, and yeah. So I don't really know what else to say. What else do I say? Is there anything else to say? No, there isn't. Okay, I'm going to go journal this trade and probably collect more data, hit my macros, and well, eat breakfast because I've been going to sleep late, to be honest. None of you asked, I know, but my sleep has been kind of cooked and it's ruining my gains. Like, I'm 191 pounds now, crazy bulk. Consistency throughout the bulk has been crazy for the past 2 months, but I'm 191, fluctuating, so I'm probably 187 morning, maybe 188. All lifts have gone up, but I know I'm leaving a lot of gains on the table by not going to sleep on time. I love catching reversal plays. I just need more confidence in them, to be honest. Like, that's where the real R is made. That's where I could be like a TikTok trader. Anyways, love you guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.